Hello, how are you? My name is Kat. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to check my Audible subscription. Hello, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today's video is going to be a review of my Audible subscription. I did this last year. I didn't like too much how it ended up, so I'm going to do it again this year. The idea it was to do it every year and don't go back every single year. Just review what's happening in the year or in the 6 months or whatever. However, I didn't like it much, so I think it was a little confusing. I realized that most of the books that I listen, I don't remember them very well anymore, so I couldn't give a good definition or like a description of the book or like an idea how much I like it or why I didn't like it. I have an idea, but I think it was not that clear. So I decided to do it again this year from the beginning. Hopefully next year we don't need to do the whole beginning thing. We'll see. Maybe it's a good way to check this Audible subscription. But let's start. So I did make a little timeline, and we're going to review every year since I've been a subscriber without going through every single book that I read or that I buy, and without going into much details. So we're just going to have the highlight of that year. The first year, it was when I first subscribed to Audible. It was 2017, and the book that I ended up buying, it was No Better Friend. I ended up buying this one because it was I have it a physical. I still have the physical. It's a really nice non-fiction story about this dog and his friend during the war. I did like it, but since I was start reading in English, so it was a little hard for me to follow the story. So that's why I decided to get the Audible too, to go together and see if that will help me. And even now I'm still doing the same thing. That always helped me once to concentrate and sometimes to follow some stories. So the highlight for that year, and the only book that I actually bought that year, it was the No Better Friend, and it was the highlight for that year. The next one, it was 2018. In 2018, I have here my notes. Most of the books that I bought, yes, I ended up 2, 4, 6, 9 books. Most of them, they are not really books. They were 2 for languages, 1 talking, 1 historical fiction, and yeah, 1 more for like something that I needed to study. So it was not really focused on the like looking for stories that I wanted to read. And I also was about to cancel this subscription, or at least pause it for a while. So I get some books like kind of in a rush to just use the credits because the credits expire. The highlight for that year is I ended up buying all the Boys I Loved Before, the trilogy, on audio. I did read the books, but I just recently do the reread. So the highlight is that those 3 books, I was happy to get them in that time. I'm still happy to have it, and I didn't have much going on there. Then 2019, I ended up buying only 2 books, and like I said, I was about to cancel and put it in pause or something like that. So one, it was from Tolkien, The Seer, Cain, and Green Knight, and The Wrinkle of Time. I read only The Wrinkle of Time, and the highlight is that one. I did like it, not that much to keep going with the series. I'm still hesitating about it, but it was a good audio, and it was only 2 books, and it was the year that kind of put in pause the subscription. Then we don't have 2020 because, like I said, we ended up having a pause on the subscription, and then we jump to the 2021. On 2021, I ended up buying 2, 4, 6, 9 books too. Most of them, they were like Star Wars series. And the highlight for that year is I ended up buying The Pre-Study by Patricia Lockwood. It was a read for a book club, and I returned it. I tend to don't do that kind of thing. If I don't like something, well, I buy it. It was my decision. Nobody forced me to get it. So why I need to return it? Well, in this case, I really didn't like that book. I finished it because it was for the book club, and I returned it and said, I don't need this thing in my library. So that's the highlight for that year, for 2021. Why I didn't like it? I didn't get the point. It's a memoir, and it shouldn't be that critical when it's a memoir. But I didn't understand what was trying to say with her memoir. I didn't like the voice in the story, like how she tells you the story. I didn't like, I don't know. Yeah, I cannot criticize too much because it's a memoir. And what it surprised me, it has a lot good reviews. So the highlight for that year is I returned that book. I didn't like it. Next year, it was 2022, and I have more books purchased that year. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11 books. Same on here. I have a lot of books from Star Wars, and I have the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, narrated by Andy Serkis, if I'm not saying wrong his name. So the highlight for that year is that I was able to get those books in audio, and if you want to listen to them, they are great. He does a really good job. Most of the Star Wars, I read them even the last year too, but I don't recall too many of them, so some of them I may need to revisit them. But the highlight for this 2022, I was happy to get the Andy Serkis audio version for the Lord of the Rings. I did listen the Fellowship of the Ring, and it was amazing. I need to get the Silmarillion on his with him reading it. The 2023, it was a little bit a change in my purchases. I have only 3 books. Yes, 3 books only. One is Star Wars, one is The Return of the King, and the other one is I'm Glad My Mom Died. Why this 2023 change? Audible has the option that you can keep the subscription, and you can do it 1 month yes, the next month no, then yes, then no. So that way you don't need to pay 12 months, you just pay 6, and you're still able to use the service that you can listen the audibles that they have part of their like plan, that they are for free, or they are only Audible versions, and you can still listen the podcasts that they have and all of that kind of thing. So it was a good thing for me because I do audios, but I only do 1 or 2 a month. So it was for me too many credits, and me not trying to lose the credits, trying to buy the books just because I don't want to lose the credit. It was a little too much, and I think 1 month yes, 1 month no is a great way to do it. From these 3 books that I get, I didn't read yet. I didn't listen to Doku, and I didn't listen to The Return of the Kings because I didn't read the book yet, so that will be a reread in audio. I did listen I'm Glad My Mom Died, and I will say it deserves the hype that it has. It is a really good audio. She does a really great job on the narration. The story that she's telling you, it sounds really honest. She has a point, telling you what happened in her life, what she get from it, and the reflections that she has on her own life. So it's a memoir. Like I said, it's hard to criticize a memoir, but I think this memoir deserves the hype and deserves the good ratings that it has. I'm sorry, I ended up buying Avatar too, the last book on the series from the Avatar. I just check it out. Oh, sorry, and I'm also bought one more. It was Master and Margarita, but I did bought that one on a Spanish version because my brother wanted to listen. I talk about the book to him, I explained him, and he just got a cat, and I was telling him why you don't put the name of the cat of like use these names, because I was explaining him the story and everything, and he get interesting, and he said, do you have it in your Audible? And I said, no, I don't, but I can get it for you if you want to. So I ended up buying the Audible Master and Margarita, but in a Spanish version. So if eventually in the future I want to revisit Master and Margarita, maybe it will be in that way. So probably I will understand this time around better, because the reading, I did not like it. I still thinking about it. I don't know what's going on that book. It's crazy, but I have the audio now, but in a Spanish version. So that was my journey in Audible in general. What I can get from it, I can say that I actually use the Audible, especially now that I am able to skip a month and go back and skip a month. That is more manageable for me in money's ways and in a reading time way, so I don't stress that I'm not reading or using the service. I also didn't include this time all the audios that I ended up getting from them for free, because it will be too complicated. And they have a system, you can see what you're getting from them when you listen it, but they don't really tell you, oh, you start this day, you finish this day, you return it, or something like that. It's hard to track unless you track it in a different way, and I do, but I said it will be too much complicated for the video. It will end up being like it was the last video, that I will give you so much information and you will not get anything from it. So I will say, like, I do use the service, I do use the Audible free books that they have, and I did read most of the books that I ended up buying. I did listen to them. Some of them, the majority of them, they are Star Wars or Lord of the Rings versions, and the other ones that I get usually is either a memoirs or something like that. I do have 3 other books in audible.com, I think, no, audiobook.com, if I'm not wrong. When I was trying to use that service, I did purchase 3 other books that they are in that website or in that platform, but their purchases the same like this Audible, and those are memoirs. So I tend to do memoirs, and I also use a lot of my Libby app, that you can get some books from the library, either ebooks or Audible versions, audio versions. So between the Libby and Audible and the 3 purchases that I have on my other subscription that is canceled, I think I'm doing good. I'm gonna keep my Audible. I do like it. I listen sometimes some podcasts. I do listen it some of the only Audible exclusives that they have right now. I'm listening Moriarty. I just finished it. I'm going to the second season. So overall, I think I do like the service. I do like it, works for me, and especially because now I can skip every other month. I don't need to pay every month. That's what I mean. And I think that's it. So let's wrap it up with this year again. I did end up buying 5 books. So it was not 3, it was 5 books. One, it was Doku, the Jedi Lost. Then it was The Return of the King with the Anti-Circus narration. Then I'm Glad My Mom Died, Avatar, the last, I don't remember, I will put it anyways somewhere here, the picture of that one, that it was the last book in the series of the Avatar, and the Master and Margarita, the Spanish version. What I read the Avatar, the last one on the series. I read I'm Glad My Mom Died. Master and Margarita and The Return of the King, they are planned to be listened, but they will be like a reread. Master and Margarita, I don't know when. The Return of the King, it will be after I read the book. And Doku, I'm really interested. I'm not sure yet when. I think I want to revisit some of my other Star Wars stories that I already have before I get to this one. So not too many, 5 books this year. One, it was a read and it was a successful. The other one, they're still there. They are kind of like my Audible collection, so I'm happy to have it. I think that's it for this overview of my Audible. You have an idea what's going on. Like I said, I still using Libby. I get a lot of Audible audios from them, not a lot. When I need it, I get them. If I don't find it, I end up buying it. Or I get a lot of like free Audibles from the same subscription. So I'm happy with the subscription. I'm gonna keep going. I will come back next year with you. We're going to revisit again what's happening if I ended up reading more on these purchases, if I ended up revisiting some of them. So we're gonna do a different review next year. This one, it was kind of like overdoing the one that I did before, and the next year it will be like I was planning to do, like revisiting to see how is the progress in my Audible journey. So that's it. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you want to know if I post another video, ring the campanita, and thank you for watching. Bye.